What prosecutors were arguing is not only does your client pose a flight risk, because obviously he's incredibly wealthy, has access to planes and a lot of staff, even though you said he turned over his passport to you months ago, they were also worried about him being able to interfere with witnesses and calling them. And so I guess the question is, how do you assure the court that that won't happen if prosecutors are saying this is someone who's attempted to bribe security staff and has already threatened and interfered with witnesses?
So I think the most important thing, even more important than the passport, is that Mr. Combs came to New York on September 5th. As soon as we realized that this indictment was going to be coming down in a matter of weeks, maybe months, but sometime soon, Mr. Combs got on a plane, left his home in Florida, flew to New York. I called the prosecutors myself. I said, Mr. Combs is in New York. Do you want to know where he is? If you want to know where he is, I'll tell you where he is. But he wants to surrender. He's here to surrender. They didn't want him to surrender because if he surrenders, they don't get to tell the judge that he's a flight risk and he's a danger. Because who, as a danger and a flight risk, would fly to New York and surrender? So they didn't want him to surrender.
So since September 5th, you had known, you expected it was likely he was going to formally face charges.
So I really knew he was formally going to face charges on March 25th, the day of the searches. When Homeland Security searched his Los Angeles home, his Miami home, and his airplane, I knew that day by looking at the search warrants. I mean, I've been doing this for a while. This is not my first or 100th rodeo, that this was going to come as a matter of time. What I realized in early September is that it was coming soon. And so it was time for Mr. Combs to come to New York, which he did. And let me just point out one very important thing. The prosecutors are seizing on something that happened 8 years ago. You know, this video that we've all seen, and it's a bad video for Mr. Combs, and he said so himself when he gave his apology. This is 8 years ago, and the prosecutors are talking about him bribing a hotel security worker. There was no criminal investigation. This was just a matter of personal embarrassment because he and the person in the video were in the midst
one of themselves on Twitch, brother.
Of a 10-year relationship. That was difficult at times. That was toxic.
After today, we getting back to intros because I need my good 30 minutes to be good. So we getting back to intros, but we just been hopping into some new shit.
It's just nonsensical, and it's going to prove to not be true.
Well, on that video, he initially denied the allegations when his then girlfriend, who is in that video, filed a lawsuit last fall, and we have that video.
Okay, real quick, let me just reset for y'all. Thank y'all for kind of following in. I'm going to be honest with you. Today's stream is going to be a little bit different because I'm probably going to have to break up today's stream. I got an important meeting, content meeting, that I have to get to. So I'm going to do a stream now and a stream later. This stream is mostly for the Diddy bail hearing. Also, I understand some of y'all, just like how y'all were tired of the Drake shit, some of y'all might be tired of the Diddy shit. Yes, we plan to do a regular stream. I do have regular topics. This is just a breaking news type of thing. So I'm probably going to be streaming for like 2 hours now, and then I'm going to come back later on for the regular stream. Well, not regular stream, but the full-length 6-hour stream, all right? So if you guys don't know, Diddy's supposed to be in court 3 o'clock. His lawyer last night, after appearing in court, Diddy got denied bail. His lawyer, which is Mark Agnafilo, I'm fucking up his name, but he sat with CNN, which I'm going to be honest with you, this is about the 4th or 5th interview I've seen Diddy's lawyer do. Is the reason why they're pretty much staking out outside the court. Looks like Diddy's lawyer, he realizes this is going to be the career maker for him. And, hey, he's down to talk to the press. So, whenever, we're probably going to get maybe a press conference from the lawyer again, pending the result of that. They already set up outside the federal office or the federal court building. I think this is the Thurgood Marshall building. There's a federal building where the courthouse is in Manhattan. And pretty much that will be happening in actually anytime now. It should be happening around now. So we'll probably hear what the result is probably like an hour or hour and a half from now. Regardless, I wanted to play you guys this interview from Diddy's lawyer last night. Secondly, a couple things has changed. Remember the first judge, I think I try to explain the whole court system as best as I know it to you guys pretty well. The first judge is a magistrate judge. It's like an intake judge. Like they get all the cases that for fresh indictments or charges. They look at it. Of course, they could grant bail. Now, if it's some crazy shit, you killed 3 people, a lot of times they're going to say no, right? If you robbed a store, they'll probably just give you a bail. But if they do deny a bail, you usually wait till you get to your district judge, which that's the person who's district or circuit judge, and that's the person who's going to be tied to that case and is going to have a deeper understanding of what's going on. Okay, so the district judge in this case is the Andrew dude, the black dude I showed y'all yesterday. He's about to rule today. So they're back in court, but I wanted to play you this video from the lawyer real quick. And then Diddy filed 100 pages last night to essentially add additional guarantees to the state or to the court, really, that he should be let out on bond. Some of these new stipulations say that, first of all, he starts claiming another property on Star Island, which is the adjoining property, one Star Island, because he lives at 2, but one Star Island is the property next to it. Remember, King Combs rapped about it. They basically said that there won't be women there. They won't be they pretty much lock it down. I still don't think that's really answering the question that the DA is getting at, or the U.S. attorney, is getting at the bond denial about. Basically, the reason why he's denied bond is not only because these charges are serious. Great, he put up a lot of money, right? But they really think this nigga's going to be on the phone and trying to coerce witness or threaten people. That's the hardest thing to prevent. His lawyer keeps saying the same stuff, which is, he turned himself in. Okay, he's not a flight risk, but is he going to hit up witnesses if he's allowed in the free world? That's the biggest thing I think they got to convince the judge. And I don't think, really, me personally, I don't think there's no way you could convince a judge that a guy with that much power and resources, who, by the way, the prosecutor has evidence that he was using other people's phone, they're not going to say, okay, we're going to just let him back out free and allow, according to the bail package, Diddy wants his workers to be able to come to the property, close family members, anybody who is in his, orbit in terms of work-wise or family-wise, and his baby mothers. Again, any prosecutor is going to say, bro, he's going to use his baby mama's phone, even if he can't use a phone. Come on, he's going to hit up witnesses. He's going to be doing all type of shit, right? So I don't know how they overcome that fact, but we're going to see today in court. Anyway, let me get back to this interview real quick. Welcome. I know some of y'all going to be trickling on in here, but welcome.
Victims.
Yeah, I think it's 49 witnesses and 1 victim. I think if you broke it down, and I say that because count 2, which is the sex trafficking count, has victim number 1, and there is no victim number 2 anywhere in the indictment.
So you're saying that there are not other women, because what they were essentially arguing here is
obviously that's Diddy's lawyer, who's probably getting tens of millions. Shit, if he pulls, this is going to be pulling a rabbit out of a hat if they take it to trial. Hey, I'm going to go on his word because he's going to have more access to information than we do as the public. But I'm going to be honest with you, I'd be very shocked if this whole indictment is only about victim 1, who we all now kind of believe is Cassie. That's crazy. If it's only 1 victim, damn. You know what I mean? Obviously, this is why I think the lawyer's doing the interviews too. He's trying to tarnish Cassie's name, because eventually it might go to a jury trial. You got to start putting it out there that Cassie was a whore. Cassie was fucking on niggas, was cheating with the trainer. Cassie used to hit him. This is the time to, because everything we've seen so far, they already leaked their play of Diddy beating her. So they got to try to do a reverse leak. She was beating Diddy too. So, I think that's, the lawyer is also playing a little bit of PR. However, here's what I do think, though, personally. I think they're going to supersede this indictment. It's no way. It's no way they're going with one victim. They're going to supersede this indictment with other people who are charged, right? I'm not saying a bunch of them, maybe 2 people, right? Co-conspirators, and they're going to list other witnesses. I think at least 2 more witnesses. It just makes sense. We even listened to the Gina girl, even though obviously some of these people who, for example, the Gina Hua girl that we were playing her video yesterday, clearly at one point she said she was a victim, but then she ran back to Diddy once the money train went, the gravy train got a little bit low. So really, who knows? Maybe these, I think a lot of these women, and this is kind of sad. I'm not saying Diddy's innocent at all, right? But I'm talking about how sometimes women who are actual victims view abuse and how they weigh it. Because if you listen to Gina, what she said, she said she was forced to get 2 abortions. She was kicked, slapped, did everything. He did everything to her. was fucking other bitches, doing all type of stuff. She went right back to him a year later when he had Young Miami. Like, you know what I mean? So again, again, and I don't want to blame no victims, but, clearly, it's a fluid situation where they're going back to their quote unquote abuser. Here's the thing too. And by the way, my voice is a lot better today. I drank some tea last night. Here's the thing too. I think a lot of these women in Diddy's past is probably like they're doing a way of check and balances if they haven't come forward already, right? They might be like, you know what? Man, I could just sit this shit out. I know if he beats this shit, he's going to eternally owe me some loyalty. I could get what I want out of him then, right? Remember he said to whoever, like one of the witnesses he was trying to, coerce according to the government, he told him, yo, listen, I got you. I'm going to take care of you, basically. Like, yo, come on, I got you. If you hold it down for me, I'm going to take care of you. So I do think some of these women who haven't been named yet or who haven't been included, they're probably playing the game of, well, if he beats it, I know he going to look out. And low-key, I kind of still like the lifestyle and I want to fuck with him type shit. And some of them are looking at it to say, yo, this nigga done. Let me at least go in the indictment because this is also going to be a play too, chap. For everybody who's suing him on a civil level, it's going to look crazy that you're not involved in the indictment for the criminal shit, right? So, wait, did you not participate? Did you not cooperate with the government to get him locked up, but you want some money? So, again, I would imagine your civil case looks a lot better when you're in the criminal case. You get what I'm saying? So, we're going to see what's the deal. Who else is going to pop out? I do think the superseding indictment is going to come. I agree with Bradford Cohen, who said it on Long Crimes when he said it like yesterday. Yo, I think it's going to come in the next week or two, right? But I do think a lot of these women or people, or who knows, maybe some of these victims happen to be men. Who knows? I think they're playing the game of, okay, should I just shut the fuck up? Because, this guy's still powerful, still Diddy. He'll hold me down because in reality, again, for whatever reason, maybe it's because Cassie's now at a different point in her life. And, obviously going through that, she's sticking with her husband and whatever. Like, to show, like, she got to go hard to get that nigga locked up, right? She's not that type of person. Also, you could imagine her husband looking at her like, wait, you was into fucking 50 niggas? No, I wasn't. Diddy was making me do what the fuck? Like, okay, cool. Well, put that nigga in jail. So she's going through with it. Some of these other people might be victims, but they might just not be on it that much to be like, oh, yeah, we really going to be, you got to imagine if you're going to be a witness or a victim listed in this case, you're going to have dozens of interviews with authorities. They got to keep asking you questions to make sure they don't look stupid when they get up to trial. Dozen of interviews. They're going to have you sign sworn statements. They're going to then put you in front of a grand jury. It's going to be taking a toll on potential victims too, right? So it's going to take a lot of your life. So some people might be victims to say, man, yeah, that nigga did do some shit. I do think he did some shit one time. I was fucking with him for 2 months, but I ain't trying to be involved in this. Also, it's a scarlet letter. If you a girl that pops out on this type of stuff, right? You pop out on this type of stuff. Again, cool, you get paid or not get paid. If you file a civil lawsuit, maybe you get paid. But now the industry gonna look at you like, you know how it's gonna be. Like, niggas might be like, man, I ain't fucking with that girl, man. Like, that's the girl who brought Diddy down type shit. Like, not that she doing nothing wrong, but it's just like, people historically and culturally don't like whistleblowers. You get what I'm saying? So, I think there are probably other victims, and I just personally think superseding indictment, 2 more conspirators, co-conspirators, and we're going to see at least 2 more victims. That's what I think. Definitely 2 more victims, if you ask me, but what do I know? Let's listen to Diddy's lawyer. Also, by the way, this is outside of court right now. We're waiting, by the way, if you don't know, we're waiting for the bail hearing. We are set up to see what's going on in the bail hearing for Diddy. This is the appeal bail hearing with District Judge Andrew Lamar Carter. It's a black brother. By the way, keep in mind, here's also the interesting thing. When these great men or moguls go down, it'll be like, yo, damn, Bill Cosby was just about to buy, what was he about to buy? Viacom or CBS or whatever. Well, here's the thing about this. With Diddy, well, first of all, is Cassie black? I don't know if Cassie black, but anyway, well, supposedly she's like half black, ain't he? I don't know. Anyway, Diddy, black man, the AUSA, right? The assistant U.S. attorney that has taken him down is Damian Williams, a black man, and the judge that's going to be presiding over the case, a black man. There's all black people involved except for his lawyer. So Diddy, black defendant, the AUSA, black man, and also the I'm like also the the judge is black. Okay. By the way, so this is outside the courtroom right now. They got these got to be like bomb sniffing dogs and all type of stuff. Like, big deal. A little federal shit going on. All right. Back to this video. Here we go, Chad.
Apologized for it.
So I wasn't his lawyer back then, so I don't, and I don't think he denied. I mean, I think the lawyers were the ones mostly making the denials. I think they were denying sex crimes. I mean, because at the end of the day, the gravamen of that civil complaint wasn't a misdemeanor assault, which is what you see on that video. Not minimizing it, but it's a misdemeanor assault. What the gravamen of the complaint was sex crimes, and he denied that, and he still does.
Well, and you're saying that this is all just about that one relationship, but when you read through the indictment, they say that there's not just one victim. They say there's multiple victims here today. And what I heard described was they said they have 50 witnesses or victims.
Yeah, I think it's 49 witnesses and one victim. I think if you broke it down, and I say that because count 2, which is the sex trafficking count, has victim number 1, and there is no victim number 2 anywhere in the indictment.
So you're saying that there are not other women because
My bad. God damn it. I'm an idiot. Okay, cool. My bad. I was saying I was sorry for pausing it, but I actually pulled some other documents from this court case. I could actually put it up on here. I believe Diddy might have waived his right for a speedy trial. Let me look. He might have waived his right for a speedy trial. Here's the document. I got it right here. And the reason why that's important, give me 1 second. You see, did he waive it? So this is like from the first appearance. Here we go. He's arraigned. He pled not guilty. They're gonna have a conference on 9/24. Speedy trial time. Okay, actually, it looks like he's electing for a speedy trial. Now, what that's gonna do though, and this is what I'm saying, we're listening to this attorney, which is Diddy's attorney. I'm telling you, he's getting the bag. He's speaking, and unless he's like playing games with the media and us, which, you know, I mean, obviously maybe he's not gonna reveal his whole hand, but why this isn't a part of a strategy. This is allegations. Makes no sense to hide it. He claims he only knows of one victim. Again, he still doesn't have the majority of the information because he doesn't have discovery. So discovery is going to be exactly what the state has. So the electing for a speedy trial as well. he'll get discovery faster. But clearly, if we all read the indictment, looked like he doesn't have any more information than we got, at least right now. So I would imagine right after they're done with this whole thing with, is Diddy going to be locked up for this whole duration, or at least locked up till the next bail appeal hearing, or will he be free? They're going to be pushing for definite discovery that they could see, okay, who's the cooperating witnesses, who's the people who flipped, who's this. They got to know where the holes are. Then they're going to have a meeting with Diddy and be like, yo, bro, your chef was snitching the whole time. Your chef's on the witness stand. Or your chef is someone who's giving sworn statements. Bruv, would you tell the chef? You get what I'm saying? But bigger than that, probably, you'll figure out if there's any other victims, right? Again, I think people are really saying, damn, if it's only one victim, why could, obviously, I guess maybe it couldn't be done in state court, because all of these acts, he was bringing her from L.A. to New York to Florida. So obviously this is definition of like some federal shit. But a RICO based around one victim, right? Well, one victim for sex trafficking, right? Obviously Kid Cudi could potentially be a victim. By the way, they're probably going to subpoena that nigga Kid Cudi. You got to be up there on the stand. Anyway, I said that to say, clearly, without discovery, even Diddy's lawyer doesn't know too much at this time, so he's assuming, and they didn't name the victims at all. So he's going to later talk about Cassie, but Cassie has not been named by the prosecutor, even though all the acts that they describe of victim one matches Cassie.
What they were essentially arguing here is that he coerced and forced women into sex acts by using physical force, financial pressure, emotional abuse, and narcotics for what they described as these freak-off sessions. They're saying that he self-described them as that.
Yeah, there's one victim in the indictment. The charging document.
One victim does count, right?
No, of course, but it's not 50. I mean, what they did, and it's a little too cute, is it's 50 witnesses or victims. Well, it's one victim. That's all that's in the indictment.
Our reporter who was in the courtroom today said that he appeared to have a stunned expression on his face. Was he surprised that he was arrested last night?
No, he definitely was not. I mean, I told him myself in early September, you are going to be arrested soon, and you're going to be charged with racketeering, and you're going to be charged with sex trafficking. So come to New York. It wasn't a long conversation. He agreed. So we knew this was coming. And in fact, we offered that he would turn himself in.
So if there are these witnesses and victims, and as you're saying that you believe it's one victim and 49 witnesses who saw this behavior, that's pretty powerful, though, to have that many people who have, if they go to court and argue that they witnessed this behavior by your client.
Well,
what's your defense against that kind of
So my defense is very well established. I interviewed myself the different men who were being brought sort of into Mr. Combs and this person's intimate situation. I've flown around the country. I've interviewed.
Ooh. So he interviewed the men that were in the threesomes or the orgies or gangbangs, the Amtrak trains that were being ran on Cassie. And apparently, this is what he was saying in court via filed documents. Actually, they made the point as well while arguing the cross argument for bond. They were responding to the AUSAs. He basically said none of the men. So essentially, they're saying it like this: if Diddy was having sex with Cassie and 3 other dudes, they've talked to all the other dudes. And I don't know how many dudes. I'm guessing it got to be dozens, right? Because Diddy was a super freak, right? He was doing this over years. They're saying they talked to all the dudes and they asked them a few questions. Did anybody look drunk up in the room? Did anybody look like they were doing it under duress? Did anybody look like they were, not consensual, not willing, being coerced? Did everybody look like they were in their right mind? And apparently all the dudes who I would imagine maybe someone got paid off, who knows? All the dudes said, everything looks straight.
Witnessed this behavior by your client.
By the way, stop spamming that my chat. Why Lucci's not dead. He's alive and well. All right, his friends has already confirmed it. Please stop being slow.
Well,
what's your defense against that kind of behavior?
So my defense is very well established. I interviewed myself the different men who were being brought sort of into Mr. Combs and this person's intimate situation. I've flown around the country. I've interviewed a large number of them. There's not the slightest inkling, according to the interviews that I've done, of anything that's coercive, non-consensual. Nobody was too drunk. Nobody was too high. These were adults in a relation. This is a 10-year relationship. We can't forget that. This is a 10-year relationship. And it was adults and consensual, and everybody who was there wanted to be there. So I feel very confident in our position.
You said you interviewed the men, but what about the women?
I haven't interviewed the woman's not available to me. She's presumably a grand jury witness, and we would not, we cannot try to interview a grand jury.
You hear that subtlety right there, right? It's essentially the interviewer says, "What about the women?" Almost asking, well, in these freak-offs, would there be multiple women? And we're actually not getting any proof or knowledge that, or anyone even saying, no, Diddy would have multiple women in the freak-offs. It would just be multiple men, which that I guess that's the irony, because of all of the different changing parts in the freak-off, it were men, it appears, to be the interchangeable parts, and the only victim seems to be the woman who was a stagnant and a constant here. So that's kind of interesting, and so he clears it up. He's like, well, we can't talk to the woman because she's probably a witness or obviously a victim, right? Damn, what type of nigga is this, though?
A witness.
And you don't think that there are any other women who are going to say that they were coerced into this, given drugs, and essentially as prosecutors were saying that that's what kept them compliant?
So there are a lot
sessions
of women in these civil cases. There's been a mountain of civil cases ever since the civil case that was filed in November. I don't see them as victims in the indictment. That's my point.
And so when you talk about that video of Cassie Ventura, that was his then girlfriend, in the video, I mean, just when you saw that.
By the way, this is, and I'm sorry for pausing all the time, but y'all used to it by now with me. This is going to be a very tough sell, people. We're going to get to a Boosie setting. Clearly, for everybody who's watching, if you're tuning in, I'm not here to be, I'm not on Diddy's side. If I ever say anything that might be favored, I'm looking at this as a criminal case. That's it. Say wind up and Millie killed his homies, allegedly. I try to give, well, maybe he didn't, and maybe he did, right? This is not about like some moral, like, so y'all got to chill with this. I'm not shooting no bail for Diddy. So again, if none of those people are involved, right, and if none of those other witnesses or victims, female victims, are involved in this indictment, it's only Cassie. I'm analyzing the strategy that this lawyer seems to. I don't know if they've planned to do this, because you got to imagine from what I've heard. I told you, like, I got contacted by one of the investigators that Diddy hired. It was somehow they seen something I said on stream. You get what I'm saying? And they had a couple questions for me about that, and I was just like, what the, they kind of, it was almost like a quid pro quo type of thing where, like, they also told me a little bit more about what's going on with Diddy's situation in terms of, it's like, yeah, Diddy has a bunch of us working investigators. Then he has civil lawyers. Then he has criminal lawyers. But it gave me like a breakdown of what his camp was like leading up to this moment, which means if it was all hands on deck and you have all these investigators who are, making calls, trying to corroborate information, trying to figure out A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever, they must have, somehow collaborated to say, again, this guy said he told Diddy right after the raid, like, yo, you're going to get indicted. They must have came up with a plan. Like, okay, well, if an indictment comes, we're going to play it this way. It's like a football strategy. I mean, not to trivialize it to that, but think about it, right? Now, if they seen a bunch of more victims, maybe they would have taken a different approach. The approach that I think they're about to take, because if you listen to the bail hearing, and actually, I do have the transcript for the bail hearing yesterday, too, because in the the appeal that they filed, the transcripts is there, which I got it. So I'll show you then. But the strategy they're using is kind of slut-shaming Cassie. They're saying Cassie was a whore. Cassie was a person who was violent, basically to say, hey, we're not saying Diddy wasn't violent. Like, we saw the video, but they're saying Cassie was violent as well. They were mutually violent, and there was never any non-consensual sexual activity that went on. If anything, the violence and anything that seemed tumultuous and toxic was because they were in a toxic relationship and would both find out about each other's infidelity. She found out that Diddy had other women. Diddy found out that she was sleeping with the trainer that he booked for her. Right? So, I was surprised that the attorney said that in the fucking bail hearing, right? You know what I mean? But remember, as I showed y'all, when the U.S. attorney, right? The U.S. attorney actually, Damian Williams, when he announced the indictment, the women, the AUSAs who are going to be working and prosecuting this case, they're white women. And it doesn't really matter if they're white or not. They're just women. You have about 7 women who stood there, one including pregnant. Again, if these are the people who are going to be working on the case, let's just play it out in our mind. If it goes to a jury trial, if your strategy is just to slut shame, and you have a male, lawyer, and you're just slut shaming the only female victim, and she's being essentially propped up and defended by 7 female prosecutors, you know the day and age we're in. I don't know if that's a great strategy. But you're going to see they're kind of doubling down on strategy because now they start talking about Cassie. And I guess this had to be a tough decision because, like, whatever war chest or whatever plans they had to come to the conclusion of, so when we start talking to the press, the first thing they're going to say is, well, why should we ever believe you? We've seen the video. So they're attacking the video to try to give context. Oh, she was a whore. Oh, she did this. Oh, she hit Diddy first. You know what era we live in. Like, a woman could damn near kill you if you slap her. It's like, right? So, and also there's no proof. There's no proof of the things that they're saying that she did to Diddy, right? But listen to the lawyer.
Been a mountain of civil cases ever since the civil case that was filed in November. I don't see them as victims in the indictment. That's my point.
And so when you talk about that video of Cassie Ventura, that was his then girlfriend, in the video, I mean, just when you saw that, you said it's a bad video. It's pretty difficult to watch.
It is, no question. So let me tell you what happened.
Will that be used as evidence in court, do you think?
100%, 100%. So what I said in court today, and I'll say it again here,
Again, doubling down,
is the two of them were in a hotel. It was just the two of them in a hotel room. She found out that he was seeing someone else. She was going through his phone. She hit him in the head with his own phone. And then she walks into the hallway with 2 bags. One of the bags has all of his clothing taken from him, which is why he runs out in a towel. So this isn't her fleeing from one of these freak-offs. Why would she take his clothing?
Now, to be very fair, and again, remember, trust me, this is such a, when you're being the media guy who's like breaking this, it's really hard, right? And also, I wish I was covering this with a woman right next to me, honestly, like a woman who's like very capable on the mic. Pause. Maybe does Milagros care about this? I would love to have because, and I do know I have a significant amount of chat queens who watch me. I don't want to just give you the nigga perspective. Like, oh yeah, that's how a man would think. I'm trying to be as fair as possible. By the way, here's the thing too. And this goes in Cassie's favor. Well, Cassie, when in her lawsuit, when she said, no, that was a freak off. By the way, it's hard for me to believe it's not a freak off when you run out with a towel around you. It appears that you were naked if you had to put a towel around you. You get what I'm saying? Okay, cool. Maybe you got out the shower, but her story with the freak off, right? Yeah, and she described, she said, even if she did take a bag that had his clothes, she was very adamant that this was during a freak off, right? Now, I don't know if this necessarily matters. When does the freak off start and when does it end? Because if they were just in a freak off the night before, Diddy's in the morning fucked up, and we've all been there, guys. Y'all know this. You've been there fucked up a little bit. You left your phone open. Anytime you ever got caught by your chick, y'all had a lit night, and you start looking at some shit on your phone, but you extra lit, you fall asleep, your phone open. That's kind of how it goes, right? That's when she finds it. That's when she turns up. So, again, Cassie's still considering that's the freak off. Y'all still in the freak off. Now, the lawyer for Diddy's not going to say, oh, that was a freak off. Right? Like, clearly, they're not going to, like, be that dumb. Like, oh, no, we were having a freak off. No, but the freak off ended at 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock. No. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah. I think Cassie has a point right here. That video is just so tough to defend. You know?
She found out that he was seeing someone else. She was going through his phone. She hit him in the head with his own phone. And then she walks into the hallway with 2 bags. One of the bags has all of his clothing. Taking from him, which is why he runs out in a towel. So this isn't her fleeing from one of these freak-offs. Why would she take his clothing? That's not what it is. And when the evidence comes out, this is going to be completely different than the government's portrayed it.
But on this video, and I just want to show that again now, how do you defend against allegations that he...
This is another reason why I think it's an interesting decision and strategy to have your lawyer Dolo out there, not only doing these press conferences. We haven't seen anything yet. No one's came out of court yet. It's very interesting to have your lawyer out there doing PR, actually having to do actual lawyer work. He's doing a lot. The reason being is when now you let him go on a CNN interview, these people are well-reputed journalists that know how to get the ratings and know how to get to whatever agenda they got. These people, you know, they interviewed the Trumps and the Bidens and Kamalas, you know. When they just throw the video up of the Diddy thing, you almost have to show your hands in how do you defend that in court. But here's the thing. We saw the video already. We went through those weeks and months of saying Diddy's a piece of shit. He's already found guilty in the court of public opinion. I wonder with these interviews, wait, do you think you're going to like rewrite that story? But here's the thing. When you now present whatever you say to this question, it's almost, if the prosecutors are watching this, which they are, they know exactly how you're going to try to paint the video in court, right? So it's like, I don't know if trying to have a PR win means you should be showing your cards. Like, whatever you're going to answer to this video, answer to it in court. We already think he's a piece of shit for the video, but answer to it in court. Now, when you answer to it here, you just gave the prosecutor, you know, remember, you're the defendant counsel. You're supposed to be on defense. You're not supposed to be showing, hey, we're blitzing. Everybody's blitzing. Oh, were y'all blitzing? I bet we just throw it over the top. All right, touchdown. No, but that's kind of what is happening.
He hit, kicked, and dragged women when he's on video hitting, kicking, and dragging a woman.
Sure, he's not charged with hitting, kicking, and dragging a woman. He's charged with sex trafficking, and he didn't traffic anybody.
But he's charged with a conspiracy here where he was using physical abuse, emotional abuse.
Just really good. I see you in YouTube. You said they're getting ahead of it now. This video has already gone through the culture, the news cycle. The only way I think this could matter is if you're possibly thinking that Diddy has such bad press, that he's such a big celebrity figure that you think if it goes to a jury trial, it might be tainted. They have seen this video. I would imagine if you get 12 people who know about the name P. Diddy before they get on the stand, you're not going to get 12 people who never heard of Diddy before they get in a jury box. If you get 12 people and let's say 8 of them knew who this guy was, even though I think all 12 are going to know who he is, I think of those 8, I think about 4 of them are going to be like, yeah, I seen that video on social media. So maybe that is to like trying to do some psyop to possible, you know, kind of balance out what maybe the potential jurors of this case is going to be consuming. And I get that. But still, you know, these are all things that I think you got to be trying to bat down in court, not on a news station website.
Financial pressure, as prosecutors allege, to keep these women in his fold. maybe just Cassie Ventura, but keeping these women in the fold.
Cassie Ventura lived by herself. She had her own house. She had a family. She had a career. And he was seeing another woman at the time. He wasn't around a lot. She could have done whatever she wanted to do. All of these allegations of, I was forced, I was coerced, I had to stay, are nonsense. And it's going to be proven to be so.
That video, in the indictment, it alleges that your client paid hotel staff $50,000 to make it disappear from the hotel surveillance system. Did he pay off the hotel staff?
Not that I know of. I know that's an allegation. I don't know that is true. What I was concerned about when I heard about this allegation is whether there was an allegation that there was some sort of law enforcement investigation pending, because then that would be a crime. But there was none. And so this is not a crime.
You said you're portraying this as adults who were at these events that wanted to be, I shouldn't even call them events. That's not certainly how anyone else would label it.
I also want to say this, and I know from where I sit and, just me being a media personality, these guys are infinitely, more successful or wealthier than me. I think what we've learned about in that Tory case, and I'm hoping it's not happening with Diddy, but I think, for whatever reason, everything with Diddy, I keep thinking, Diddy's a billionaire. He's too big for rookie mistakes. He's too big for certain things to happen. But then I also see that he gets arrested, and then there's 2C or pink cocaine in his room, which is like, what the fuck? Anybody if you're handling that magnitude of a situation, like that would never be done. So I don't know how really structured and how much, like on a meticulous level, they're fine-tooth combing all of this, or, maybe Diddy's still leading the charge where it's like, yo, well, I'm the boss. Take that. I'm a billionaire. Like, yo, y'all go march to my orders. Now, the reason why I say that is this next point. Eventually, and I'm going to put it out now, eventually we're going to look back at that other law firm that dropped out of Diddy's case. And it's easy to be like, oh, well, Lady Gaga put pressure on them. Okay. But what also could be, and we've seen this before, and it's weird, I'm only bringing this up because let me tell you, the ego of a rich, successful rapper, a lot of times they'll go against counsel. And sometimes when, you got to imagine defending Diddy is a 8-figure job. It's an 8-figure payday. So multiple attorneys or law firms is like, yo, we could do it. We're going to get you off. Yo, whatever. Sometimes when you have that ego, you want to hear the person you're going to go with is the one who says, fuck that. We ain't taking no plea. We beating the case. I also want to say case in point, Tory Lanez. From what we heard, and we heard this later from, he had a female attorney who dropped out of his case because she felt that, number one, he wasn't fit to take the stand. They couldn't play that angle. She wanted to go about it a certain way, and Tory and his actions were contradicting how she was going to play it. And she said, well, I'm not like, hey, I defended OJ successfully. I'm not starved for bread. I've defended you for a while. I'll let this go to another attorney. She came out and said, yeah, she basically said that she advised him, yo, we shouldn't take this to trial. It won't end well. Tory hears that and says, yeah, you could get the fuck up on out of here. He gets the lawyer that says, Tory, we're going to go to trial and spank this shit. Fuck you talking about? You're hired, okay? Again, it's the ego. It's the ego, right? You know what I mean? You have one lawyer who's saying, it's not looking good. We should probably go about it this route. Okay? Also, no. That person you look at and say, get the fuck on out of here. The person who agrees with you, yo, we're going to take this to trial. We're going to beat it. Matter of fact, bring the documentary cameras to the fucking verdict reading. You know that was happening, right? They brought documentary cameras to the verdict reading for Tory. because there was a belief that he would be found innocent. His former counsel said we shouldn't really go to trial with this shit. It appears that she was right. Now, obviously, I believe in Tory's new counsel's opinion. They feel like, no, she wasn't right. It just wasn't defended right. Whatever you want to say it is, again, sometimes you could play to the ego of a defendant. And I'm wondering if we're going to come back to find out that that law firm that dropped out, there's two things. There's somebody who defended Diddy during early on. I think it might be Ben Brafman. He stopped defending Ben Brafman, Diddy. He did an interview and he basically said, he declined right here. He said, listen to this.
Weinstein, you've represented a lot of.
So this is the guy who's represented Harvey Weinstein. He's represented. These are the big dogs. Like Ben Brafman is a lawyer, but people know him like he's a celebrity.
Interesting characters. Ben, what is your process when you get a call? I remember talking to Robert Shapiro and, or F. Lee Bailey or Allen or some of these guys. They just like these complicated cases. What is it about these cases that ends up coming to guys like you?
Well, I think when people in that league are in, criminal trouble, I think they want to go to someone who has experience. I don't think they want a novice. I think they want people with a proven track record. I didn't represent Harvey Weinstein at his trial. We parted company after a couple of months because he insisted on having a skirt, as he called it, to represent him. And I said, Harvey, I can do a lot of things for you, but I just don't really want to become a woman. But when a powerful person.
That's interesting. Oh, that's the point. I don't know if you got what he said. He said, I guess Harvey Weinstein wanted him on the team as a legal mind. But here's the thing. In crimes that affect women, optically, it looks better when a woman is talking to a jury defending you rather than a man. If it's a man defending a man, it'd be like, oh, it's niggas. If it's a woman defending a man, it's like, oh, well, it's one of those.
Person is in trouble. I think they look for someone who's been around that block before, has a proven track record. And I think the most high-profile person I've ever represented was Dominic Strauss-Kahn, who had been indicted, representation.
Reasons why the case had to be dropped. That story's afterwards as well.
Okay. So this guy, he represented Diddy back in the day. Hold on, that wasn't the thing. Wait. No, yeah, he was talking about Diddy. And I guess he was saying that, hold on. He said that he did talk to Diddy, and people were asking, okay. They asked him, okay, here we go.
Who claimed he would always brag that he did shoot and she saw it, and he would brag to other people that he did do it. He's always been famous for having a little bit of a big mouth, that he likes to brag about the kind of power he has, that he's almost like a untouchable gangster, that he can get away with anything. He's given that vibe, even when he won the deal. And then also when you represented him with the Cassie deal, within 48 hours, you guys, what we read, $30 million that she was able to get. Did he come to you to help him out with this at all, to represent him? Or you guys never had the conversation for you to represent him when he got raided?
I really think that's a conversation I'd rather not have. I wish him well.
Essentially, basically said he talked to Diddy. So he defended Diddy successfully on the 1999 gun charge that he got when there was a club shooting. So he got Diddy off a case where a woman was shot in the face, and the woman even says to this day, Diddy had the gun. This guy had Diddy beat the case. So I guess, my man Patrick McDavid said, why Diddy hasn't hollered at you? And he kind of skirts around and basically saying, yeah, he has. But here he goes.
I saved him in 1999. And if I had not saved him, he would not have become maybe one of the most successful African-American entrepreneurs in the history of the of this country. And now I only wish him well. The reasons for my not being in this case at this time are part of a privileged discussion, if you will.
You know, I kind of knew you were going to say that.
Okay. So essentially, they definitely talked about it. He said a privileged discussion, which means attorney-client privilege. Once again, I'm going back to the Tory thing. We're going to have to use that as an example. You know, sometimes counsel evaluates a case and says, hey, I don't think we should take this one to trial. I think we should approach it this way. Or I think we should engage the government this way. And the person might be like, fuck that. Nigga, I'm innocent. Now, here's the thing, and this is why you got to respect people like Ben Brafman, even the person who turned down or stepped off the Tory case. Because if a defendant is saying, hey, I'm down to gamble with my freedom, you're going to get paid regardless. Just tell me what I want to hear, and you're going to make some money. These are people who are so established that they're like, I don't want my name to be associated with an embarrassment. So I'm going to tell you what it's going to really be. And if you don't want me to continue, I'll take the loss. It's fine. But I don't want to be involved with the embarrassment. So Ben Brafman looked like he had a conversation with Diddy. I don't know what that conversation was like. Looked like they mutually agreed that it shouldn't continue, and that's why he was wishing him luck. Anyway, his lawyer now is here.
But that they wanted to be there. But they also allege that they were recorded and essentially used as blackmail. Is that not true?
That's not true. That's not true.
How can you prove that when they have electronic evidence that, as they argue, over 90 cell phones, laptops, iCloud storage accounts, 30 electronic and storage devices, hard drives, thumb drives? Yeah. You're not worried about that?
No, because if they had it, they would have put it in the indictment. And it's not in the indictment.
When it comes to your client's credibility, I think people will look at what he said last fall. And it's not just his attorneys. I mean, he pays those attorneys. They're speaking on his behalf. They're the ones calling her claims baseless and ridiculous. And when you read the indictment today, they line up with what she alleged in that lawsuit last fall.
If the claim is that he had unwanted sex with her, that claim is baseless. And it will be proven to be baseless when we have a trial.
But the claim is obviously the conspiracy, the racketeering. It's much larger than just that, obviously, as you know.
It is, but the government wants it to be. But count 2, which is the sex trafficking count, relates to one person and one person alone. All of this talk of dozens of victims and 50 witnesses, if they had that, if they really had it, it would be in the indictment.
Okay. That's what that is. Okay. Let's pull this up real quickly. So this is the amended. This is the amended. Let's make sure this is right. That's the 17th. Here we go with the 18th. Okay, so now this is the not amended. This is the appeal bond package that has been submitted today in court. Okay. The date reflects, as you should look on your phone and see, September 18th. And essentially, it says basically a lot of the same things it says yesterday, but it changes a few things. Dear Judge Carter, obviously that's a new judge. Mr. Combs, through his counsel, submits his letter in lieu of formation motion of his release from custody on the proposed bail package below. As set forth below, the defendant's updated bail package, updated even from yesterday's filing, addresses both risk of flight, danger to the community, and reasonably ensures the defendant's return to court. Now, I'm going to stop here and just say this. I hate to predict this. Again, I don't have a horse in the race. I'm just trying to educate as an educated person, I believe. Just somebody with a mind. I'm just making a prediction. I don't think he's going to get bail. I don't think they think he's a flight risk. That's the biggest problem I'm seeing that Diddy's lawyers keep doing. They're saying, hey, obviously, did he get arrested because his plane came to New Jersey and he was 15 minutes away from the plane? Maybe. But There is way, if they put an ankle monitor on him, he's not making it to the fucking airport, the plane taking off, and they never know where he's. Like, come on, it's just not happening. So in reality, I don't think they think he's a flight risk, right? However, his lawyer keeps trying to prove that he's not a flight risk. That's not what the biggest reason why he won't get, in my estimation, I don't think he'll get bail today either. The reason why he won't get bail, in my estimation, is that he can't assure the government that he won't hit up witnesses, intimidate witnesses. It's the same reason why Young Thug don't get bail. The moment you hit up witnesses, and by the way, remember during the Young Thug case, I know that's the state, it was huge talking about, oh yeah, people getting death threats, this and third. Look at this Facebook posting talking about, yo, Slime finna kill you. That made the judge say, well, we're not going to have a trial if the witnesses or the victims get killed. Right? So that's the biggest issue I think they have to prove. But how could you prove it? The state, not the state, the feds are always going to have something to counteract. Yo, Diddy will never have a phone in his hand. Well, we have proof that the last time he called somebody 54 times, he didn't do it on his phone. He did it on somebody else's phone and even said on the call, yo, I think my phone calls are tapped. That's why I'm calling you through their phone. So, like, Diddy doing that, honestly, they're going to use, he's threatening witnesses, trying to coerce witnesses, trying to taint the process of not only investigation, but also the process of this court. They're not going to let him out. That's my personal opinion. It could be wrong, okay? And I'm just looking at it as a critical mistake because they keep saying risk of flight and danger. I think they've easily assessed. He has so much money, they could be like, hey, we'll pay, just like YoungBoy. Like, come on, you think Diddy's more of a risk to the community than a nigga who they thought was a killer? That's what they thought about YoungBoy. YoungBoy paid for a militia to be at his crib 24 hours in like a day. Snipers in the hill, niggas with silencers. You have, like, I'm telling you, they really was on some shit like they think we're back in 1776 or some shit like that, bro. Trust me. So, danger to the community, I think they could prove you could offer mad money for just all type of, like, people watching Diddy. Risk of flight, they could they could mediate that. Even if they don't allow him to go back to his Star Island property, they could be like, yo, he's going to be at this one residential place in upstate New York, and it's going to be surrounded with feds all the time. He could never leave. And he'll pay for it. So I don't think those are the things. The thing is that they're saying that Diddy has operated for 20 years, intimidating people. Basically, I'm saying, yo, I got this money if you lie for me. Calling people. That's the problem. And that's why I think his attorney, every time they're talking about it, because the first thing they keep saying, well, Diddy showed up to New York to turn himself in. Well, cool. He's not a flight risk. But we think he's hitting up witnesses. They mentioned he called, just last week, he called a band member of somebody else who sued him last week 54 times. That's the problem. Anyway, let me get through this real quick because we have to, the court hearing is going down. I'll show you what's being said. Shout out to my man, Inner City Press. The last time we really had him up here that much was, wow, who was rocking with me back in 2018? Anybody was rocking with me back in 2018? That's 6 years ago. I used to have this guy page up. I remember we used to have like 20,000 people, just like how we kind of have now, watching. And it was a 6ix9ine case because 6ix9ine was a federal case and there's no video allowed in federal court. So he would be tweeting out line by line. He's doing it today. I'll give you the quickest update right now. It's going to be pretty much a long hearing, so don't think shit is just going to happen like immediately. Okay. So these are the updates so far in court. Okay. Diddy's still at the defense table, black shirt, okay? It's not the MDC tan uniform. I'm wondering if it's the black shirt that he wore in intake, which is kind of crazy. 2 U.S. Marshals seated behind him, waiting on the judge. Okay, all rise. So, I mean, the judge is here. It says government. It says, now you have the AUSA Emily Johnson. Remember, this is one of the white women. Remember when the black dude, Damian, the U.S. attorney, Damian Williams, when he announced the people who were going to work on the case, one of the people he mentioned heavy was Emily Johnson. We should look her up. Let's look her up, chat. We got to see what he's going against. AUSA. Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson. Da-da-da. Oh, by the way. Oh, shit. I can't see this. What the fuck? Did I click out of it? By the way, she just got some. She made some big news by convicting Trinitarios gang member for murdering a confidential informant. So already, you could tell she goes hard on anybody who could cause harm to a potential not only informant, but maybe a witness or a victim. So that's her thing. Let me see if we could. I want to get. Okay, I think this is this her? No, I don't think this is her. Emily Johnson. This is an AUSA. Why is it so hard to find all their pictures? God damn it. This might be her, though. It looks like it might be her. Is this her? I don't know. Anyway, fuck it. We seen the white woman who lined up with homie, bro. We seen what it was, right? Anyway, let's read through this real quick. So the AUSA starts out. This is the bail hearing today. So they're in court currently. This is 30 minutes ago. It says the freak offs were elaborate. They began in 2009. Wow, only 2009? Y'all wonder what J-Lo thinks of the freak offs. I guess she missed it. If they began in 2009, you know what? I don't think the freak offs began in 2009. I think Diddy and Cassie started dating in 2009. Let's Google that. Because, we have this theory that Cassie's the only victim. When did Diddy and Cassie start dating? Oh, they started dating in 2007. Yeah, that kind of makes sense, though. You know when you give it a new girl, at first it's like, yeah, it's just me and you, girl. Then you got to just throw the monkey wrench into it. Yeah, let's start having threesomes. You done fucked her for a year. That pussy, like you're used to that pussy. So now you gotta throw a little salt in the game. Like, yo, let's do a threesome. Now a good girl gonna be like, all right, let's do a threesome. Except Diddy gonna hit you with my homeboy though. What? Yeah, that's what's happening. Come on, let's keep it a bean. Freak offs are elaborate. Started in 2009, extended into this year. No way Diddy had a freak off this year. The freak offs were arranged with his entourage. The defendant used narcotics so the victims could continue. Ketamine, GHB. What's GHB, people? Could y'all tell me what that is? GHB drug. What is this? Gamma high. What the fuck? I've never heard nobody take this drug. Gamma hydroxybutyrate. It's a legal drug it's a party drug. I've never heard. Party drug? What is it used for? Huh, never heard of it. Okay. All right. The defendant will record these freak-offs, at least in part, to use them to blackmail. We have email of victims saying, you were going to make me, I'm not going to say it on a public record, or you were going to leak some freak-off shit. Ooh, so Diddy was saying to victims, yo, you're going to do A, B, C, or D, or we're going to leak that freak-off shit. A different victim wrote. By the way, none of these people are listed as victims in the, none of these people are listed as victims in the indictment, but this, this is supplementary information for a bail hearing, so they don't have to. They could call them a victim, but they're not listed in the indictment as a victim. Even though the judge could ask them why, if these are victims that you have emails and shit, why are they not listed as victims in the indictment? Which obviously the prosecutor could come back and say, well, they were not cooperative. Oh, some of them died. Whatever. Like they have changed their stance. Whatever. Anyway. Okay. A different victim wrote, he was going to expose me with the sex tape. I was drugged. That's just 2 examples. And it's so rich when the defendant's submission file today accuses victims of extortion. He's the only extorter. We see 6 guns. They were in the defendant's home. He had access to them. We're focused on the defaced guns in the defendant's closet. This is not about the security, but dangerousness. The security team is the same one he says would monitor him. So basically they're saying, why would we agree to him, having 24/7 security? He's probably going to use the same security team that were having the illegal guns in his closet that he had access to. So it's like, are they defending him or are they arming him? That's basically what they're saying, right? The head of his security has now been served with a subpoena, given what we've learned about his role in the offense conduct. Oh, so they're trying to figure out who's going to get charged with his gun. Wow. Now, the hotel assault. Yesterday's defense counsel called it a fight in a relationship. But no, it's trafficking. See, that's what I was saying about the interview. Well, they actually said that in court too. So, but still it's like, you're on defense. You don't want to give the defense anything to the offense, which is the prosecutors, anything to play off. But they're saying, oh yeah, yesterday they said that the defense counsel called it a fight, but it's trafficking. The defendants had a freak off on March 15, 2016. By the way, they're heavily using that video. I think it's now almost abundantly clear the feds leaked that video, bro. Bro, they're using that video so heavy. They haven't referenced any other thing. Well, I mean, they've referenced the Kid Cudi thing at a specific date, but like they have referenced March 5th, 2016 so many times. We have evidence there was one commercial sex worker there in the room. Ooh, Diddy, they got you, bro. So they're proving that Cassie was right. Remember Diddy was saying, remember Diddy's lawyer just said, we played it. Diddy's lawyer literally said,
wanted to be there. So I feel very confident in the indictment.
Here we go.
To the hallway. But let me tell you what happened.
Will that be used as evidence in court, do you think?
100%. 100%. So what I said in court today, and I'll say it again here, is the 2 of them were in a hotel. It was just the 2 of them in a hotel room.
Ooh, see? This is what I'm saying about these fucking interviews he's doing. He says the 2 of them were in a hotel, just the 2 of them. What does the prosecutor say? We have evidence there was one commercial sex worker there in the room. This is what I'm saying. Like, bro, like, why are you talking to the press? Bro, like, why you talk? Like, clearly Diddy ain't tell you the truth. Or clearly maybe you should no comment it until you get to court. You're going on national TV saying it was only 2 of them in the room. Now that, like, when the prosecutor says we have proof that there was a commercial sex worker in the room, they probably have the commercial sex worker as a witness, right? Do you get what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, whatever this guy is doing, y'all need like a PR person. Like, if a PR person says it, cool. The lawyer, like, you want the lawyer to be just focused on the facts. Because when the lawyer is now saying things that the government is saying opposite, and they're saying they have proof, while you, like, it looked like you're going off what Diddy told you. And then, what the public us are thinking now? Well, if Diddy told you that it's just you, it was just him and her in the room, and there was actually somebody else, maybe he lied to you. Maybe everything you're saying, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Anyway, there was one commercial sex worker in the room during the assault. She wasn't even wearing shoes. She's in danger. Defendant storms out in a towel. We have a message from the victim. I still have crazy bruising. He claims he wanted to get his clothes back. Oh, what? Oh, Cassie's cooperating. Yo, they're reacting to this interview. That's what I'm saying. Why are you doing an interview, bruv? Why are you doing an interview? Cassie, look, we have a message from the victim. The only time they're talking about this, like, oh, why was Diddy chasing her? Oh, to get his clothes back. The only explanation was offered up by this attorney. Well, they kind of did offer it up in a court in a counter for the bail motion. But still, you're on CNN saying this. Now Cassie's like, what's that lawyer talking about? I still have crazy bruising. He claims he want to get his clothes back, but that's not what happened. She tried to escape a room with the defendant and a commercial sex worker. She fled without shoes. Immediately after the assault, the defendant sent these messages. Call me. The cops are here. I got 6 kids. Yo, please call. I'm surrounded. You gonna abandon me all alone? The defendant knew he had done something that could elicit police response. He covered up what he did. This year, after the surveillance video came out, only then did he admit it was him. Yesterday, it was claimed that his clothes was taken, but that's not what happened. Why drag the victim back down the hallway to the room? The indisputable evidence makes clear you cannot take the defendant at his word. March 5th, 2016 is far from the defendant's lone act of violence and obstruction. Freak-off activity is the core. Oh, my God. Freak-off activity is the core of this case. Bro, Diddy literally going down for his dick. This is crazy. Again, when we thinking about Diddy, like, we know he a freaky ass nigga. He a 69 guy. Like, we know. But we thought he's going to just go down for being generally, not just only for maybe some sex shit, but like, yo, he's tried to kill people. He's beaten people. They're literally saying the sexual activities in these freak-offs or whatever happens in a freak-off is the core of this case. So what he thought he was doing as fun, releasing stress, getting freaky, that's the core of the fucking case. So they use force, coercion, drugs. Our investigation is ongoing. Half a dozen escorts. Oh, my God. Half a dozen escorts is just the tip of the iceberg of the number of escorts who have participated in these freak-offs. Damn, bro. Bro, that hurt my heart, bro. Not for Cassie, because I don't know that chick. Like, no disrespect, but... Bro, imagine, could you, like, if anybody got a girl, somebody they care about, or even if you don't have a girl, but you plan to be, have kids with a woman that you genuinely love and respect, maybe unless you're on some Adam shit, like, my nigga, like, bro, it gotta hurt to even think about, bro, imagine just bringing a dozen sex workers to fuck your girl, my nigga, like, damn, like, bro, like, what do you think she was getting out of that? Like, what did you think, like, if she's so much in love with you, you're in love with her, but you have this mentally deranged, twisted thing that you want other niggas to penetrate her, and you're just bringing niggas after niggas. Wow. Half a dozen escorts is the tip of the iceberg of the number of escorts who have participated in this freak-offs. The case is charged as sex trafficking by force, fraud, and coercion. The acts were non-consensual. The defense is arguing that anyone in the freak-off wanted to be there. That's not the law. When people are threatened with exposure and are beaten, they can't consent. That is trafficking. Victims' heads were slammed against car windows. By the way, I think not Gene Deal, the other security mentioned this. Didn't the other Roger Bond? He talked about violence in a car. DJ Vlad might have it. Roger Bonds. That sound like look. Okay.
Told me, he said, be careful. So I came on when she came with Ryan Leslie.
Forced or anything else like that.
And then she said out of nowhere, Puff just stormed into the kitchen. That's basically the two that I know about. And she cried and she took. From what I heard specifically from her, you know what I'm saying? He put his hands on her. You know, she said that he was very upset at her because she wouldn't let the cleaners inside the Alpine house. Puff used to live in Alpine, New Jersey. And she was there and she was looking out for the twins, even though really, really, really bothering her. And they called over to the London hotel.
Got it. Well,
He said, man, we was about to give it to Suge. We was about to give it to Suge. I said, what happened? And then I started seeing him coming around a lot. Definitely didn't have nothing to do with her anymore after that.
Hold on. I'm gonna find this shit. It's Roger Bonds, May 24. Okay, got a whole playlist. Seen Diddy, Diddy made Cassie redo breast implants. Oh my God. Personal chef. Diddy attacked his personal chef. Diddy was a junkie. Cassie got pills for him. He said he's seen Daddy, not Daddy. Pause. Extra pause.
Power to orchestrate extensive efforts.
Here we go.
And then after I grabbed him, he's coming out after she was talking to him.
Was talking to Johnny Wright.
And I said, yo, what are you doing, yo? And I grabbed him up off her. And then after I
Oh, no, this is one right here.
Party with Jay-Z.
Here we go.
Fear.
her and Puff was fighting, and I broke it up again.
Here we go.
And I put Puff in the front seat, and I put Cassie
So
in the...
this was in a car. So when we see the AUSA say, the AUSA says victims' heads were being slammed against car windows, something that happened in the car. It kind of sounds like the story. Tell me if I'm wrong, Chad.
Because when we went to New York, Paulie would take over.
Right. Paulie was the New York guy.
Right.
You were the out-of-town guy.
Yeah.
Got it. But you did see a fight when you guys were in a Cadillac at one point.
Yes.
And you guys were driving.
Chat, am I good or not? Am I good? If I'm the GOAT, just spam GOAT emojis or the scorpion emoji. Come on, I found it right there. Listen, I seen it, nigga. The prosecutor just mentioned it, nigga. I seen it. I watch every interview, nigga. I don't watch TV, nigga. I watch interviews.
Yes.
Describe what happened.
Her and Puff was fighting, and I broke it up again. And I put Puff in the front seat, and I put Cassie in the back seat. And he was just sitting there, and I was like, yo, y'all can't be acting up like this, man. And then Cassie had punched him in the face, rightfully. She punched him in the face, and they started fighting, and I had the window open. And people started pulling up. Oh, shit, that's Diddy and Cassie in there fighting, and I'm trying to roll the window up at the same time. So in my mind, I was happy because I actually seen her fight back. In my mind, I was happy. And then when we got to the house, I pulled both of them out. And at this time, I was able to grab Puff. And I was able to start walking him up the hill. We lived in Beverly Hills. So she's at the point where she's just terrified.
Well,
The Ralphs to look in the parking lot, it wasn't there. So I went to, I forgot the jeweler name, Speak No Evil ring.
the Three Monkeys.
The Three Monkeys. He said, yeah, but that's not exactly the ring. You had to really look at it and see that it was different. And he left it at that. But that was just one of the reasons why I couldn't really talk to Cassie. And houses in, well, he...
Oh, so this is another one. This is how Diddy beat Cassie's ass after the Kid Cudi. Well, here's the thing, too, though, right? So it looked like, Cassie, which I guess this was like, Cassie had some, obviously, we're not going to analyze her trauma, but Cassie was having sex with other men, right? It's clear, right? Like, maybe her thought was, well, Diddy's fucking other girls, so I could fuck other guys. She was having sex with Kid Cudi, right? She was having sex with the trainer. And I guess whenever Diddy would find out that she was having sex with other men, he would go ballistic, right?
Evan. They're still trying to push Cassie, and she had a few singles here and there.
On security off and on, and I was taking Cassie to her shows and stuff like that. But from what I'm hearing is that she was having an affair with Kid Cudi.
Okay, so she was in the studio with Kid Cudi, and they started to actually get romantically involved. Now, from what I understand, Cassie had a phone that she would just leave around sometimes, and Diddy went through her phone.
Yes.
What happens next?
When he went through the phone, he called the number, and Kid Cudi picked up. And he was like, what? Yo, I don't know exactly what he said. I know that he went over to his house. And Kid Cudi wasn't there. And he went over to the house. I know at that particular time, after that happened, Cassie wouldn't come around. And then all of a sudden Cassie came around and Diddy was upset, and he was upset with a young lady called Capricorn. So Capricorn was his personal assistant. She was the KK. If you ever hear people talk about his assistant now called KK.
Who I think might be a co-conspirator. So KK is the I think her name is Chris Diddy KK. It's Christina Karam. It's the woman who was you know, I showed her yesterday, Christina Karam. And yeah, looked like, you know, this is after the Freako was kind of like pending. She's with him. She's holding him down the whole time. He looks stressed. You know, this looked like the woman who would probably be like, yeah, we could call the bitches off my phone. You know, she ride for, you know, sometimes you do need, you know, I mean, she might not be the wifey, but she the rider. Anyway.
She was his ride or die. She rode around with him everywhere. And he really got upset with her because she had to know about Kid Cudi because she never went to the studio by herself. She always went with Cassie. And he put hands on Capricorn because of that situation.
Huh.
Wow.
And Capricorn ended up leaving and suing him for it. And he paid Capricorn $450,000 to keep her mouth shut. And to this day, Capricorn has spoken about it. I even heard Suge Knight speak about it on his podcast because Capricorn was
Okay. All right. Let's keep it going. Yeah, victim says we're slammed against the car windows. Here's some text. When you get fucked up, you knock me to the ground. I'm not a rag doll. I'm someone's child. I guess that's from Cassie to him. We have witnesses who witnessed the multiple injuries. This conduct happened behind closed door in houses, hotel rooms, and cars. Judge Tanovsky was concerned. Judge Tanovsky found that she didn't believe defense counsel can control the defendant. By the way, that's important because the lawyer that we're seeing here, essentially, he's saying that, yo, Diddy turned his passport into me. I talk to him 5 times a day. He only meets with me. You have to. He's basically almost saying, I'll make sure Diddy doesn't do anything, right? And basically, the AUSA saying the last judge didn't believe that, you know, his lawyer could prevent some of these behavior, right, or can control him. He says, consider the Mercedes case in the circuit, reversing a decision to release a defendant. Let's turn to obstruction. Witnesses have expressed extreme fear of him. They have directly contacted the victim in November 2023, constant contact with the witnesses to the charged conduct after the subpoena before the government interviews. Oh, 2 of these examples, there are communications between the defendant and a witness, 13 contacts. And the judge says 13 contacts with 2 people. It says, 14 contacts between the defendant and the witness. Also reached out to a witness that had not been in contact with for several years. After the grand jury subpoena, he used intermediaries. Let's go back. We're going to update. He used intermediaries. Where is that? Sorry, Chad. He used intermediaries. He recorded the conversations on another person's phone. In November 2023, he twice called a victim. Now, they don't say the victim, but they said a victim. We don't know if that's Cassie. On November 19th, he received a text from this person in response. It reads, I feel like I'm reading my own sexual trauma. 3 pages, my experience. Oh, wow. Now, granted, a judge and also the defense should say, well, if there's another victim besides victim 1, which we all think is Cassie, and they're sending text to say, I feel like I'm reading my own trauma by reading the lawsuit with Cassie, why is that person not in this lawsuit or in this indictment as a victim, right? And now we don't know if they are, but that's a good question to ask. The defendant called her and gaslit her, trying to convince her that it was consensual. He repeatedly said that he was not supposed to be speaking on the phone. He tells the witness not to text him. The defendant said, if support if there was support, there was nothing that she could worry about afterwards, which means money. The defendant wrote the financial advisor should not make a mistake. It said the defendant wrote his financial advisor should not make a mistake and not get that rent paid. This was obstruction. We cite U.S. blah, blah, blah. A defendant who fed a false narrative. That's what's going on here. The AUSA says, I'll go over the cases. Judge Carter said that's not necessarily. I'm familiar with those cases. Basically, they were going to go over an old case, which is U.S. versus LaFontaine. The judge is well-versed, saying, I'm familiar with it. The AUSA says a recent civil suit last week. Dawn Richard filed a suit. She was in a band. Also, Ms. Harper. Ms. Harper issued a statement. After 128 phone contacts, we did not deal, AUSA said we did not deal with Lawrence Ray's case. Magistrate judge ordered detention even on one victim, but the judge found that it corroborated by documentary evidence. Is there anything else? There's a few more things. How many? 3 minutes. I think this judge is kind of, like, just by I'm reading it, look like they're inching towards Diddy because they're like, okay, what else? What else? What do you got? They're kind of hurrying up the AUSA, the prosecutor, to be like, what else do you have on him, right? You never know. It might be a black brother, right? You never know. By the way, and in no way, shape, or form, I'm saying that this judge is biased to people who are accused of crimes, but you never know. He might just try to give a more of a listening ear because it's Diddy. You know what I mean? Like, it's Diddy. You know what I mean? I'm saying that I don't know if it's a fact, right? The AUSA says, well, traveling to New York does not address danger to the community. I'm here seeking attention, but I note the bail package does not have enough conditions that focus on the obstruction. I agree with that. I said that's the reason why he's going to be kept. Obstruction, not flight risk, not danger to the community. Obstruction, and it couldn't. He's been involved in other people. The defendant should be detained pending trial. The judge says defense. Combs' lawyer now stands up and says, "Let me start with Miss Harper. I was called by her and her lawyer." And by the way, Miss Harper, I believe, is Danity Kane's group member, Kylena Harper, I believe. She is a band member and a group mate to Dawn Richard, who filed a lawsuit on Diddy last week, accusing a lot of things. Nothing sexual with her particularly, but basically said that she witnessed a lot of beatings, and specifically of Cassie at the time, and even also dating back to maybe when Kim Porter was around, and basically said that Diddy even threatened to kill her when she tried to speak up because she told a woman to leave Diddy, and Diddy found out that she instructed one of his chicks to leave him, and Diddy told her, bitch, I'll kill you, right? Cool. All right, so now Diddy's lawyer is here. And by the way, his second in command for the lawyer is Tenny Garagos. I'll put you up on game on who this is. Tenny Garagos is the daughter of Mark Garagos, very popular LA attorney who is notorious. By the way, this is Chris Brown's attorney. He's gotten Chris Brown in a lot of trouble. But if you look up, Mark Garagos, he's legendary criminal defense attorney, usually to the stars. If we go down notable clients, you're going to see a bunch of people. Winona Ryder, Michael Jackson, Roger Clinton, Greg Anderson, Cameron Brown, Victor Willis. I don't know how to say these people's names. Neither of these people. C. Breezy, as I've said. Colin Kaepernick, Scottie Pippen, Jussie Smollett. Obviously, that didn't turn out too favorable, but still, very well known in LA. Okay, his daughter is the second in command on Diddy's case, which you gotta imagine that he's tapped in somehow. Like you want your daughter to win, so again, I don't know if he's certified to operate. Obviously it's a federal case, so it's a little bit different. But this is still New York District, even though federally, Southern District of New York. I'm pretty sure they're putting a lot of resources behind this. So she's the second in command. So obviously, if you see Agna Filio, that's Diddy's number one lawyer. The number two is Tenny Garagos. I don't know how to say the name. And by the way, both of them did file a notice of appearance, officially stating that they're the official lawyers of Diddy. So it's only 2 lawyers, all right? Now, granted, they have firms behind them, other people, but they're the people you expect to be doing all the talking and addressing the judge and the court, okay? Cool. All right, so here's also the important part, too. Remember, this is a sexual assault case or a sex trafficking case. It always looks good when you got a white woman talking for you, okay? A man, a white woman saying, Diddy's fine, he ain't doing nothing, right? Kind of counteracts the 7 white women who are the prosecutors, right? So, optically it's a good thing. Okay, anyway, she actually speaks. She actually gets up, or not, well, she's up with Agnifilio, clearly, and she addresses the court. She says, Ms. Harper feel like she was being besmirched. We didn't speak with her. At 2 a.m. on the 11th, we did speak with her at 2 a.m. on the 11th. After speaking, what would be the reason for Combs to so the judge jumps in. Okay, so if she contacted y'all, and y'all are his lawyers, and she's talking to y'all through her lawyers, why did she need to speak to Diddy? And that's what the lawyer is asking. No, not the lawyer, I mean the judge. Garagaro says she was concerned because she was in the media. Agnifilio says, I've brought in today the head of Sage Intelligence. We are proposing that Sage Intelligence personnel, all former law enforcement agency, will be monitoring the residence of, okay, so they have now, let's Google this. By the way, this isn't in sequence. This guy has to type out these tweets, so he's trying to find the best parts to put out. So in this new bail package, which, by the way, we do have the bail package here, they want to do Sage Intelligence, right? Which is, if you don't know, when people work in high, either like law enforcement or even if they were DAs, they work for the city, state, or feds. After a while, their retirement package is to make a business where they do private surveillance, private investigation, private practice. If they were a DA, they become a defense attorney. That's how they make the big bucks, okay? Because, you get all the decorated accolades working for the prosecutors, right? Being on the side of the state, but you make the money representing the rich defendants. You get what I'm saying? So apparently there's a company. It's probably owned and ran by some former law enforcement person. They clearly say it's all former law enforcement people that are involved in this. So yeah, they're saying these are the people who are going to be protecting Diddy full time. This is an expensive gig. Like they got a website. We could click on it. No. This is some other shit. Sage Intelligence Security. Let's just look at security. Can we find it? Okay. All right. So this is a multifaceted group. What you're going to see is that you're not going to find no prices on this shit. They got their services, investigative, security, right? And digital forensics. Probably the best of the best. All law enforcement agents that have retired. They're getting the bag. They're going to tax you. It just is what it is, right? All right, bet. So they said it's all former law enforcement. They'll be monitoring the residence of Mr. Combs 24/7. They will have 1 or 2 employees there at all time. By the way, I can't say much about my time visiting YB when he was on Gravedigger Mountain, but his security personnel, it was like a good 5 to 7 checkpoints, like secure, encrypted community. Like them niggas, I was like, yo, who y'all think finna come kill young boy? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you think Dirk gonna send a dumbass nigga to get, like, them niggas couldn't even find the directions to this place. You know what I mean? Like, trust me, them niggas was acting like, yo, you ever watch them, like, spy movies? Car come to the hill, is a white Jeep Wrangler, flank the right, like, and then you hear, yeah, we have eyes on the target. The guy in the hill with the fucking sniper scope. They got all that shit going on. I was like, what the fuck is going on up in here? Like, what y'all think? Somebody gonna assassinate young boy? But yeah, it took that package to get him out. So he paid for that. Clearly, them niggas had to shoot nobody. But, you know what I mean? I remember going up there, I'm like, yo, if I was on house arrest like young boy, I would talk the most shit. I wish y'all niggas would come here. Y'all would just die for free. Like, it's no way y'all could come pull up on that nigga. Like, snipers in the hill, niggas with silencers, like niggas in camouflage. You got people, security checkpoints. Like, yo, everybody's on security. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what the hell? Like, I'm like, this shit more than like a police escort. This is lit. I love this. Anyway. Okay, cool. All right, so it said there'll be a visitor log, only pre-approved could come in. By the way, I should show this. So this is what they changed and modified. They did modify a bit of their hold on. Yeah. They modified, hold on, where is it? Here we go. So they did modify their proposed package. They're still offering them $50,000. That's going to be assured by the $48 million house and the $2 million in his mama's house. And they said they paid off the $18 million to get that. Cool. Then they're still saying we're taking all the kids' passports. Cool. What's the new stuff is that they said we're going to restrict all visitors, okay, to his residence at 2 Star Island and 1 West Star Island, which is the adjoining property. They never mentioned 1 West Star Island, which, you're going to see pictures of these residents as well, because this is a very more detailed thing, because they're trying to get the nigga out. They said we're going to restrict all female visitors except family or the mothers of his children. So no females could be there that he could fuck unless he's on some incest shit. He's going to fuck his daughters well, actually he could fuck his mom, the mom of his kids, but they haven't ever made allegations, and, that's family, right? Technically, right? The security company that secures Mr. Combs' properties will require any person who enters the property to sign a visitor's log, and then the company will produce those logs to pretrial services nightly. So that's what they're talking about. That company, I guess that company will be filling in that role, right? Perfect. No contact with any known grand jury witnesses. Weekly drug tests, which shit. Knowing Diddy, man, he might be using the baby's pee to fucking pass the drug test, because Diddy's still gonna be off that Tootsie. Yo, Diddy's a drug addict, bro. Nigga, if you knew he was about to get arrested, you started drugs in your hotel room, Diddy's a drug addict. I don't believe he will pass this for a minute. Or, you know what he'll do? Diddy's rich. If they agreed to this, you know the finesse, right? Yeah, we'll do weekly drug testing. We not taking no drugs. Here's the finesse. You go to your doctor, the doctor you've been paying millions for all these years, you get them to prescribe all the shit you need. Oh, I'm just sick. My stomach, I got IBS, my intestines, my lungs, my heart, my muscles. Yo, I need these drugs. You know what I'm saying? If it's prescribed. Now, obviously, ecstasy is not something that gets prescribed, but, you could get your fix on some other shit. You know what I mean? You could sip lean. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So, yeah, Diddy's still going to be drugged the fuck up, doing his thing. Okay, then they got a couple other things. They talk about the passport. They're going to show some emails. All of this is here. Yes, this is this is 124 pages. 124 pages. Now, they show the property that is worth $48 million. This is the front of it, right? And this is a appraisal of the property, right? So this is the appraisal. The appraisal is going to say that this property is worth $48 million. The company's signing off. The company's going to put up their we get a look at it. Damn, the rear view kind of look good, man. I ain't going to lie. I'd rather be here than to sell. This looks lit. This is the spot. Damn. Front guest. Ooh, look. Damn, it's a front guest house. Ooh, I like this. Wow. Front guest house. We got the covered areas. Oh, my God. Natural roofs. Ooh, these look so sexy. Look, this is a large pool. It's called a large pool. This is called a wading pool. Wow. This is like other amenities, natural roofs. Ooh, look at the dock. We could park a yacht over here. We got the rear of the main house with the amenities. Look at the view. Oh my God. Star Island, so beautiful. We got a dock. Oh, look at the jet skis. Like, come on, bruv. We could really get it in on the jet skis. Comparable sale. So now the appraisal is going over other properties that have sold. This property, which is 34 Star Island, sold for $30 million. And they're just showing a few others. 34 Star Island sold for $30 million. Wow. 8 Star Island sold for $75 million. 46 Star Island sold for $38 million. 13 Star Island sold for $32 million. 1 Star Island sold for $35 million. You know, they're 2 West. He owns 2 West and 3 West. And this other place, I don't know if this is on Star Island, but Bal Bay Drive, this was $41 million. So they're basically saying it makes sense that Diddy's crib is actually worth the $48 million, right? These are other places that have sold. 45 Star Island, $28 million. 30 Palm Ave, $43 million. So they're saying it makes sense. Here's a layout of the house. Look at the garage. What's this right here? We can zoom in a little bit, but we ain't trying to do too much. Yeah, they got dimensions of everything. Wow, we got this. This is pretty detailed. This is how Star Island looks. If you don't know, Star Island's a man-made. You know this was made by like the military, right? The military made this shit, and now just all the rich niggas live there. Like I forgot why they made it, but they made this island. Like this is not a natural island. They made it. That's why it's a fucking perfect oval. You get what I'm saying? And then, you know, all the rich people came here and they subdivided it all over the place. And clearly the best places to be are around here and around here. But everybody has access to the ocean, which is lit. And there's a bridge that connects. Yeah, the bridge connects here. Like, boop, over here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. There's some aerial views that y'all can look at right here. Yeah, look at this, man. So Diddy owns this and this. Yeah, he owns the adjoining property, but there's not really something really built up there. So he owns this, which is a big chunk. So really, if he sold both, it would probably, if he sold both in continuum, remember, it's a corner. This is like almost like a corner spot, right, of the oval. And this is the first spot as you come over Bridge Road. Yeah, like Diddy could sell both of these joints for like $70-80 million, right? Like obviously this house is 50, but just this land is gonna be 20, right? Like this land right next to it is gonna be 20. Wonder why he bought it, unless he just didn't want neighbors. You know, sometimes these rappers be like, yo, my neighbors was bitching about my party, so I bought the neighbor's house. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know, nigga. Anyway, we could go through all this stuff. You know, this is a full appraisal. You get what I'm saying? This is exactly like the company went really in depth, and they're going in with the appraisal. You feel what I'm saying? Oh, the appraisal. This is certificate of the appraisal company. They're actually certified by the state of Florida. They're showing their certificates. Here's some more exhibits. It shows that he pays the mortgage. So he had the mortgage with Bank of America. He actually paid more than $18 million. The actual amount was $18.85 million, right? He said that was the amount that was paid. So salute to Diddy. Yeah. And it looked like he had gotten it, and they were originating out of Rhode Island for the time, but whatever. Yeah. Cool. All right. Now these are emails to the prosecutor, the AUSAs. Yeah, they knew who were going to be on it because they were emailing Emily Johnson, the person who's talking now. They were emailing her on April 1st. She just wasn't responding to her. Remember they said in court? They emailed again. Hey, just following up on an email from last Wednesday. If you have a few minutes, I want to touch base. Especially, I would appreciate it. This is a situation I would like to bring to your attention. Yeah, it went to Emily Johnson and this other person. Here's another one on March 13. This is before the raise. Hey, good afternoon, AUSAs. I could not find your email addresses. My I represent Sean Combs. We've never met, but I want to, talk. Okay. Now they're just communicating. We're not seeing communications back, but they're just communicating. Hey, Mr. Combs has departed from this private jet place at here. He's expected to arrive here at this. They're showing that Diddy's been telling them everywhere he's going to be. He'll be departing from Miami on his plane to LA. Like they're showing that, he's not flight risk. He's been telling y'all everywhere he's going to be. Good morning. Mr. Combs is no longer traveling to New York this week. Mr. Combs will no longer be flying this week. He'll be flying to New York, blah, 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 blah. Like this is Mr. Combs will be traveling back to Miami via charter plane. Traveling back to, they're doing all of this, right? Like they're going all the way in via email. So this is another one as we discussed. This was May 22nd. As we discussed, Mr. Combs will be traveling from Miami to blah, blah, to attend his daughter's high school graduation. He'll be traveling to LA via his private plane. On this point, we write to follow up that on our phone call, so I guess they talked to them already. where we advise that at first they're trying to sell the plane, which is owned by a single-member LLC called Love Air. Because selling the plane takes some time, we'll keep you updated to the progress of the sale. As we advise you, in early 2024, the firm took possession of and has possession of his passport. Yeah, they were trying. Hey, this is to follow up and blah, blah, blah. Yo, we have taken passport of several of his family members' passports. Janice Combs, his mom. Daughter Chance Combs, daughter Love Combs, his twin daughters Jessie and Delilah have been sent in to the Department of State for renewal. When they're renewed, we will take possession of those passports and let you know when we have them. So clearly they went for renewal. All right, and now this is the indictment. No, this isn't the indictment. This is the transcript of the first appearance. And you see, now we can see everything that was said yesterday. Good afternoon, everyone. The court is the judge. The court, good afternoon. Thank you for being here. My name is Magistrate Judge Taforsky, blah, 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 blah. There's a lot more pages. We can scroll down. I don't know, do y'all care about obviously, I can't read through all this. I'll never get off stream if I just read through every single thing. Do y'all want me to, I could create like a way for y'all to get these documents. Like, sometimes we pay to get them, but like, they're all public. They're not some private shit. Do y'all want me to do that? Like, because maybe, I don't know if, I'm like a nerd. Like, so a nerd when it comes to this shit. Like, if I was watching me, I'd be like, yo, shit, damn, I want to read through my damn self. So if y'all want me to, I could find a way to, again, we just can't read through all this, bro. This is long. This is 124 pages. Okay? Yeah, so, actually, we won't even go, we're going back to the tweets. You know what I'm going to do? For all the people who are like members or like subs, I'm going to create a link for y'all and I'm going to put up all these things. Like sometimes Megan Cuniff does it, but I think she has like a subscription thing. You guys already subscribe to me via like Twitch, whatever. I'll find a way how to give like exclusive access to all these documents in full to the people who subscribe or who are members, whether Rumble, YouTube, or whatever. Somebody remind me to do that. Okay, cool. Let's get back to the tweets real quick. All right, bet. There'll be a visitor log. Okay, cool. Let's hit the refresh one more time. Once again, chat, we are pretty much awaiting the decision of the bail hearing here. And looked like he took a break in tweeting, but we're going to get back to it. Okay, here we go. Facts, here we go. Okay, so it looked like Diddy's lawyer is still presenting his case. Cool. All right. So Agnifilio is there. He's talking. He said there'd be a visitor's log, sage intelligence. We learned that. Never mind. The judge on time, and the judge says, "Could you get to the point?" Oh my God. It says Mr. Combs knew he was on an investigation and gave us his passport. This is not a defense lawyer theater. We took the passports of 5 members of his family. We have a letter of intent to sell his airplane. We had 3 buyers who didn't work out. The judge says, "Can you get to the point?" Oh, nah, Diddy. In the words of Eddie Griffin, every brother ain't a brother. He might not be a brother, Diddy. Diddy, he not a brother. You know what I mean? Diddy probably was looking at him like, Playboy, take that. Come on, bro. You know what I mean? He said, he's rushing Diddy's lawyer. Could you get to the point? It shows that he's trustworthy. He's not a defendant who says, "Come find me" in Maxwell and Epstein. And the judge says, "How does that relate to danger and obstruction?" I told you, obstruction gonna be the thing. If he was aware in April, why was he contacting witnesses? That's what didn't I tell y'all, chat? That's gonna be the thing. This lawyer seems prepared for, we could keep him all right, we know he's not going to Bali. Like, bro, that's abundantly clear. But will he stop hitting up the witnesses? Agnifilio says, a woman contacted him. She says she got a subpoena. We told him don't speak to her. Talk to me about danger. Agnifilio says, people who are danger are people who are contemptuous of court. But Mr. Combs has never been contemptuous of court. He had a case in New York in 1999. Came to court every time. He shows up on time. The judge says, under your plan, would he have... maybe the judge is fucking with him. Says, under your plan, look like he's going to consider it for real. Under your plan, would he will have employees. Would he have employees, I guess? They handle his finances. They're in California. Would he be able to leave his residence? Agnew Phillips says no. Judge says, and the security, they could be there in the house. Yes, in shifts. We'll put camera filming 24 hours a day. They could do spot checks. He doesn't use the internet. We can make it as secure. Yeah, you're gonna say anything. He'll never use the internet. Yo, we'll cut the internet cord, go into the house. No electricity. He'll just sit in the dark, meditating, like whatever the fuck the judge wants. Like, you gotta try, right? The judge look like he's fucking with him though. He's like, yo, but what about this? Say something that made me feel good. Okay, what about this? Say something that made me feel good. As a lawyer, you gotta say anything. And the security, like, they'll do spot checks. They'll do anything. He won't use the internet. The judge says the video is troubling. He was 40-something years old. Agnew Phillips says he realized he had a problem with drug addiction and anger. He went into rehab for a period of time. The woman in the video also went into rehab around the same time. They both went into rehab. Agnew Phillips says they loved each other. The written messages are heartbreaking. The sex and the violence were totally separate, motivated by separate things. The way they chose to be intimate, they would bring a third person on. They chose that. Ooh, so basically saying they chose to bring another guy to fuck Cassie the right way. The judge says, what does that have to do with him punching her, throwing a vase at her? What's love? What's love got to do with it? Got to do with it? Got to do with it? I don't know how this song goes. That was before my time. What's love got to do with it? Got to do with it? Yo, the judge hitting him with them bars. Okay, judge, I see you, homie. What's love got? I'm telling you. Hey, that was jealousy from infidelity in both directions. Mr. Combs and this other person. The violence is from that. Nah, the judge on time. What's your point, gang? Oh, my God. Nah, they going crazy. Still going bad on them anyways. Holy. Give me 1 second. I think this is Diddy's lawyer calling right here. Still going bad on them. Wait. All right, fuck. Cool. All right. What does that have to do with her punching her? All right, jealousy, blah, blah. You say the third person. Okay. Justin, you say they invited a third person. Oh, never mind. What does that have to do with her punching her, blah, blah, blah? That was jealousy, blah, blah. What's your point? And you say they invited a third person in. If that third person is a commercial sex worker and they travel across state lines, isn't that a problem? Agnew Phillips says, I've spoken with the agency. I've spoken with the agent? What agency? They said they are not paid for sex, but if they feel like it. What? I don't get what that means. The former government of New York, he did this and he was not prosecuted. Ooh. They're prosecuting Mr. Combs for it. Oh, he just threw a monkey wrench into it. Diddy's lawyer said, yo, the former government, or I don't know if it meant governor. The former governor of New York did this. He wasn't prosecuted. Why are you prosecuting Combs for it? The judge says, let's get back to the video. Oh, my God. That video is going to be the video that's going to keep him in jail. The judge really is on that video. Let's get back to that video and the physical beating. Why isn't that relevant to the dangerousness? Agnew Phillips says it's not sex trafficking. Oh, my God. See, that's a bad answer because it's like part of sex trafficking is he's charged with sex trafficking by force or coercion. Physical violence is force by... that's violence, which is force. So sex trafficking by force. Oh my God. All right. We are trying to see. Come on. Let's get to it. Still going bad on them anyways. All right. Okay. Damn. Hold on. By the way, in other Diddy news, we just got this news right here. I gotta run too. I got a meeting to go to. Fuck. Why do people... Yo, I gotta start canceling all meetings and be like, bro, But do I sound like an asshole to be like, yo, bro, I'm covering like a really big case. Fuck these meetings, bro. Or actually, it's some content shit. Or maybe I should have told my team, like, bro, I just can't do meetings at this point. Yes, Lucci's not dead. Like, who the fuck said that, bro? Like, Lucci's not dead. I told y'all that. He's not dead. Apparently, Diddy did get a win today. Apparently, his judgment, this guy who got the default judgment. Remember what I told Wack when Wack was like, yo, you got to pay the $100 million. Fuck out of here. Wack only saying that respectfully, and I love Wack, you know that. But Wack is saying that because the game lost the default judgment, never showed up to court, never did what he had to do. So the judge wouldn't go back on giving him an appeal for him to fight the case. So the game owes some girl $7 million because he never responded. Diddy didn't respond, but here's the thing. The court setting isn't meant to say, oh, we're not going to do a case. Let's give you free money. So Diddy's lawyers came out and said, yo, we heard about this case through the media. We never got properly served. I don't know how he convinced y'all that we got properly served. We didn't. We're now here because we hear about it through the media. Let's go to court. And the judge agreed and says we're throwing out the judgment, right? So they threw out the judgment. So they set aside the $100 million default judgment in the Michigan sexual assault case. This dude also claimed that, clearly he's either lying or something else ain't checking out, because what could have helped his argument for the judge not throwing out this $100 million judgment is that he claimed that Diddy checked into the jail, because he's locked up, checked into the jail and had a meeting with him and offered him $2 million. So if you have Diddy, if you go into a jail, it's recorded. If you have Diddy meeting with you after you served him with a lawsuit, it kind of looks like he didn't know about the lawsuit, right? But clearly the judge disagrees. The embezzler scored a legal win, where his attorney, David Fink, that's another lawyer you got to be paying, convinced the judge to set aside the massive judgment because the inmate who claims that Diddy drugged him and sexual assaulted him at a 1997 Detroit party failed to prove he effectively served the lawsuit in accordance to Michigan law. Okay? Judge Anne Marie Anzalone scrapped the temporary restraining order, stopping Diddy from selling any asset to cover the damages, noting that Diddy has a likelihood of winning the case on statute of limitations ground, because Cardello Smith claims date back to an alleged incident back in 1997. So here's the funny thing about this, right? So this case is, I don't think he's not necessarily accusing Diddy of actually sexual assaulting him, but it's around that type of sexual allegations in general. But there are some statute of limitations issues on a civil trial or a civil suit when it comes to that. Now we're talking about 1997. If you look at that time, it would be 27 years. Let's Google it. Michigan Civil Statute of Limitations, sexual battery. Let's just say sexual battery. Look. Current statute of limitation for filing a lawsuit in Michigan is 10 years from the date of the sexual assault. Okay, so yeah, Diddy's spanking this case. It's over. Yeah. So the statute of limitations on a civil suit is 10 years, and the shit happened 27 years. Yeah, Diddy beating that one. Okay. All right. Supposedly, do we have some news? Apparently, we got some news. People are saying bail denied. Is it? Let's go to Enterprise City. Come on, bro. My computer working slow. Okay. Here we go. Ooh, breaking. Sean Combs will remain detained after appeal. Ooh, yeah. So yeah, he got denied bail. Yep. Mm-hmm. All right. We'll read the last couple of replies. Let's read the last couple of replies, y'all. Okay. Here we go. All right. And the Philly says, even if you don't trust them, the bond package, $50 million bond, no internet, which, how could you prevent people from having internet in the free world? Come on. Sage, they'll give the court comfort that he's not a flight risk. Obviously Sage is all former law enforcement. Then he could prepare for his trial. Obviously, by the way, that's kind of goes in Diddy's favor. You want to have, to give a defendant the fairest chance, you want him to be free, because how could you prepare for your trial when you're incarcerated, only allowed to go to the law library and use resources to prepare for your case at certain times, or meet with your lawyers in certain, capacities. It says, we knew this was coming. He could have ran. Okay. Agnophilia says he was an actual altar boy. Judge says, how far back are you going? Agnophilia says he watches a sermon every day. TD Jakes. TD. Yeah, I got to bring TD Jakes in there. Throw some holy water at that goddamn judge. That's what you should have did. He has done a great deal to earn the court's trust. I ask you to release him. The judge says, I've heard from the parties. I find the government have proven the defendant is a danger. By the way, danger here doesn't mean he's going to beat another girl up. Mostly it means that, contacting and intimidating witnesses, that's a danger to the community. So that falls underneath that. So again, remember the same thing I told y'all. Obstruction, intimidating witnesses, that is exactly why they couldn't prove it. To be honest, Diddy fucked up by contacting any witnesses. If he didn't contact any witness, I think he would be free on bail, if you ask me. This is a great bail package, but they really think that he's going to be hitting people up, bribing them, doing all type of weird shit, and trying to change the course of justice, and they're not going to have that. So, okay. I've heard from the parties. I find the government have proven the defendants is a danger regarding the bail package. It is insufficient. It is insufficient even on risk of flight. Oh, wow. Wow, I thought they were going to say it was going to be sufficient on risk of flight. They say Sean Combs will remain detained. Wow, Diddy's not getting out. That is crazy. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. That is abso-fucking-lutely crazy. Oh. All right. There's more that's kind of happening afterwards. So Diddy's not getting out. Now they're going on to the pretrial conference, which is going to happen in 6 days. Apparently, the judges then said, let me look. They said, so let's do the initial conference. The AUSA says the discovery will include photographs from the physical evidence, the March searches and from this week, including freak-off supplies. So the discovery will have the freak-off supplies, baby oil and shit like that. There are a large number of electronic devices. Okay, so the conference is going to be them trying to communicate with how they're going to get discovery sorted. Okay, that seems to be right. I'll Google it. What does a pretrial conference? I don't think it's a pretrial conference mean. Yeah, pretrial conference. Presiding judge and attorneys to evaluate what's necessary. There are often several. Yeah. Those are things like discovery. 100%. Those are things like discovery. Yeah, Diddy ain't going nowhere, people. He's gonna be locked up. He will be continually remanded in custody, and for the foreseeable future, I'm gonna be honest with you, just like Diddy has no one else to blame but himself. His lawyers are gonna be like, yo, we tried. The problem is you spoke to these people who are potential witnesses or potentially were in the grand jury process, and you should have never done that. You should never have spoken to them, tried to reach out to them, should have never talked to them on somebody else's phone. You should have never instructed people who could have been supplementary witnesses. You know, you should never be calling them 54 times, even if you were advising them how to deal with a public spectacle and a public windstorm. You shouldn't have done that. It makes it look like you're intimidating people. We have witnesses who have testified or signed sworn affidavits that you try to get them to switch their story or tell them a different story. After you knew they were going to testify in front of a grand jury, you tried to, subvert the course of justice in a fair way. And yeah, if we put you back at 2-Star Island, a $50 million property, or even if it's a place in New York, how can we make sure you don't have access to internet? How can we make sure you don't have access to a phone? How can we make sure that you're not going to use your intermediaries or your workers or your security? Your security's guns allegedly was in your closet. So when you're saying, oh, well, I have security. Well, if the security is keeping their guns in the closet that you have access to, basically they're just giving you a gun. So again, a lot of this is on Diddy, right? Now, this is probably going to take like a year or two, right? We're going to see if Diddy, we don't know if there's any plea. Obviously, the U.S. attorneys are probably going to be questioned on like, hey, are we going to offer this guy a plea or are you going to try to prosecute? Clearly, in the cases of Harvey Weinstein federally, or where we think about, was Harvey Weinstein federal? Well, let's just think about notorious people who have been charged with sex trafficking: Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly, Jeffrey Epstein. These people were, they weren't really offered like pleas. It was like, no, you're gonna, the plea, they probably were, but it was just like, the plea you're gonna have to take, you'll never get out. So you'll never take the plea. So you're gonna fight it, and you're gonna fight it, and then we're gonna throw the book at you, and then we're gonna just be done with you, and that's it. So it's kind of sad, but it looked like Diddy is going to be in for the fight of his life, and he's not going to be in the cozy mansion that he's normally used to being in. He's going to be in somewhere just cold, well, not cozily, just sitting in, MDC for now. I'm wondering how they're probably going to give us updates on his jail situation because there's no way possible that they're just going to keep him at the Tombs. We don't see him going to Rikers either, right? So, like, how do you deal with him? When it came to 6ix9ine, 6ix9ine was cooperating, so they moved him to like this snitch jail, like wherever that was, like unnamed, nobody knows, off the map, you can't find it, right? So, but it's Diddy, like you can't have Diddy in Rikers. What the fuck? You think Diddy could be around niggas getting stabbed up, like, getting hit with a Glock dookie? Like, come on, man, like you think you can have Diddy getting hit with a Glock dookie while he go get his honey bun? Like this shit can't happen, bro. Like shit gonna look crazy out here, you know what I mean? Not the guy who had previously the key to the city of New York, so I don't know where they're going to keep him. Like, is he going to be kept in the Tombs? Now, they have said there has been high-profile people who have been, they have been at the Tombs before. You know what I mean? Like, I think they showed some other high-profile people who have been there. And, those people stay there for as long as it took. Like, for example, some of the notorious people, clearly not Diddy's level, but this is Mike from Mike the Situation. They said somebody here is Abby Lee Miller. I don't know who that is. Suge wasn't in no motherfucker. What the fuck? What is this? Well, we don't know exactly how they're going to treat the situation with him. Are they going to bring him to some private facility and maybe that's the place they put their extra high-profile people? Is he going to be in this building? This is MDC, I believe. This is Brooklyn, MDC Brooklyn, which is Manhattan Detention Center, the Brooklyn. That's where they claim he was at before. We've heard about the conditions there. It's not that good. Manhattan Detention Complex, Brooklyn. Like, we've heard many things. Like, at times they said they had no water there. They had, no heat. The jail people were knocking on the windows trying to alert other people. Like, I forgot what was going on in New York, but they're like, yo, we're fucking freezing. We're starving. So, yeah, inmate just died over there. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, obviously we don't expect Diddy to be in there scrapping, but fuck. From the life of luxury, 100 million up, to now being in a very small cell, or even if they bring him somewhere else, it's just not going to be cozy compared to what he's used to. So it's kind of fucked up, brother. Kind of fucked up, man. Fucked up. Chat, I do got to run, though. I wish I could stay on here much longer. The news is broke. I'll be back later, okay? So expect me. I want to say around 11 o'clock. Give me around 11 o'clock. I'm going to probably be back. And we'll not only kind of put a cherry on this, but we do have to get to a couple other topics, including, I know some people feel like I got off. Somebody's tweeted me that said, finally, I got off the Drake and Kendrick shit. No, I didn't, nigga. I'm back on it tonight. You feel me? Pause. No Diddy. We back on it tonight, chat. I'm sorry. I only came on here to stream this, and we got the hearing. I got to run. I'm running out the door. Be back soon, 11 o'clock. Hey, if you're following me, do me this favor. Please hit the follow button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you can. Once again, the academy.shop. theacademy.shop. Go here, please. You can support by just copying something that, obviously you'll get through the mail. Could be a shirt, mystery box. We got Chat Nigga hoodies. You can hit others at the bottom. We still got a couple other things that didn't sell out yet. And yeah, so please support by buying some merch. And that's as much as I could ask for. Other than that, we are on the way to 1 million subs on King Akademiks, the YouTube channel. I think we need 145,000 subs. I'm very happy that, we're getting there closer every day. Also, for the people on the Academy account, please hit the membership button. I'm going to start putting up these paperwork. So all of these documents that I pull up, sometimes I go through it too fast, or maybe you want to look at it for your own leisure if you care. Like, I was that person before I became me. I'm going to start putting them on a place where all the subs on Twitch, all the members or subscribers on Rumble, all the members or subscribers or the members on YouTube could definitely see as well. All right, chat, gotta run. Love y'all. I'll see y'all later. Peace out.